Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Mage the Ascension the Victorian Age, right here on Dork Tales. I'm your storyteller, Kelly. I use he and him as my pronouns, and I am excited to be hopping back into this. We are down a player tonight because Jen has been overclocking herself with work and school and games and all sorts of things, so she's taking the night off to recuperate, which is probably fitting since, burning the candle at both ends will cost you an arm or a leg, and in Josephine's case, it definitely cost her an arm. We're going to be hopping into game in just a minute, but before we do, I want to introduce everybody who is here tonight, starting with Christine.
Hello, I'm Christine. I use she, her pronouns, and tonight I get to play Dr. Evelyn Taylor, our Society of Ether member who is really putting the mad into mad scientist right now.
Finally! And next to you, someone else who's putting something in, it's Amy.
Okay, well, that's an introduction. Yeah, let's go with that. Hi, I'm Amy. My pronouns are she, her, or they, them. I am playing Chastity, Prudence, Goodwin, the Celestial Chorister / Cult of Ecstasy member. And yeah, everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Everything is fine. It's the best. Down beneath you, we've got Jen. We love you, Jen. We hope that you are resting up. And next to you is, of course, Robin.
Hi, I'm Robin. I use she, her pronouns, and tonight I am playing Mr. Darcie Harkness, aka, what name did I give him? Tommy Keevan, who is a member of the Verbena, and poor Tommy is, life's pretty hard for him right now.
Apparently so. All right, folks, we're going to be hopping into
skiff from last game.
Yeah. So we're going to be starting game in just a minute. Before we do, of course, I have to pay homage to our wonderful sponsor, Bookwyrm Games, who provides us with amazing things like these gemstone dice that you can roll to roll twos because they really like me to not hurt these players. The dice are on your side, and you can be on Bookwyrm Games' side by going to their website right now. That's BOOKWYRMgames.com right now, and you can save 15% with code DorkTales. Not only that, you can help support the Doves by buying some dice, or anything really. When you make a purchase on Bookwyrm Games, let me know and I will double your channel point expenditures, and that includes for experience points. So if you want to buy them a point of experience, they'll get 2. Pretty cool, right? But what's even cooler is that they are a fantastic local business that helps support us and does a lot of great things, like very soon creating their own D10 sets for us. That's right, we're going to be getting some of our own D10 sets inspired by Mage the Ascension, not legally distinct from Mage the Ascension, but inspired by, and I can't wait to share those with you. Go to bookwyrmgames.com today, save 15% with code DorkTales, and if your order is 100 Canadian or more, you are going to get free shipping worldwide. They are still working on shipping lanes to Concordia. Actually, a little late for that now, but, you know, with some time magic, it's totally fine. All right, so, and that is true. There's going to be a book that is going to be published by Bookwyrm Games that I'm writing a bunch of stuff for, including Michael in the chat is telling me that the module is awesome. I hope it is. There's penguins and pirates. Oh my. But that's legally all I can say about a D&D game at the beginning of a World of Darkness stream, or else the vampires come for me. So, which, you know, there are worse things. But without further ado, let's go ahead. Is there any other news or anything that we should mention before we hop in?
I'd just say be careful if you're gonna taunt a Zamisi over there. You may not have a wiener soon.
I've some of the people I've dated, I'm surprised I do too.
Michael in the chat's saying that he genuinely grinned all the way through your module. That's adorable.
That's fantastic.
I'm so excited to see. It's gonna be so cool to see like your module like a book. It's gonna be so cool.
It's gonna be good. It needs a little more treasure, and it needs. I forgot to mention what happens when you rescue one person. So it's like I have to write like 200 more words or something like that. And there's just like a tiny bit of play balancing. But if everybody bugs Bookwyrm Games and is like, hey, Bookwyrm Games, we're going to buy a bunch of your dice, but we want you to do a live play of Kelly's module, they might. They might like hire us to do that. So, you know, let me know. Because that one's great. It's the Revenge of Vorga Blacktide. And it's a pretty good module. There's so much character in it, and that's why it ended up only being almost 4 times longer than I was commissioned for it to be. But there's a playable penguin race, so fight me.
I don't know how I'm costuming that, but
you kind of want to
be that.
Amy, you shake your head, but they have an ability that allows them to slide through other people's spaces on their tummies without provoking opportunity attacks.
Shaking my head is still a form of being kind of vaguely amused, but I don't know how to react.
Also, I went deep into the etymology of their naming systems and their gender politics, so I think you'd like it. Yeah. I went there.
Males care babysit the eggs.
Yeah. Also, they're good dancers.
Mm-hmm. As shown in the wonderful screen adaptation Happy Feet.
It's true. Which is a George Miller movie. And speaking of which, Furios is coming out next week, and I already have my tickets, so I'm going to go see that next Thursday. And I'm excited. And word counts are made to be broken. Fight me, Grey Wolf. I'm a penguin. All right, enough stalling. Jen, we hope you feel better. And with that, we're going to be hopping into game. This one might be a little bit shorter because we don't want to get too far away from where Jen last played, but there are quite a few scenes that we could run before that, before we need to wrap up for the night. So, y'all ready? Perfect. Then without further ado, let's begin Mage the Ascension, the Victorian Age, right here on Dork Tales. Last time on Mage, you all returned to, well, you entered the fighting pit down in the steerage and lower deck levels of the Nestor. There, Tommy Keevan, Darcie in a different form, managed to win a pinched fight against the one and only Samuel Blackwood. I wanted to call him Blackthorn, but Samuel Blackwood. It was a pitched battle, and you almost didn't make it. But in the end, by cheating, you managed to do so. After that, Josephine returned to the cabin, bringing back ill-gotten gains from betting on Darcie's match, only to discover that there was someone else in the room. The corpse of the steward who had been attending that Baroness. And there was one other in the room, an invisible assailant who attacked Josephine and managed to quite literally disarm her. You made it back to the room just in time to scare him off, and in doing so, watch Josephine almost fall into a horrible, deathly state. Darcie, you managed to stabilize Josephine, and Evelyn, you managed to dispose of the blood in the room, both of which caused a bit of a problem. One of which is that Darcie became quite stricken with a localized rigor mortis and was unable to turn back to her feminine form, while Evelyn descended into the madness of quiet secretly, deciding that, well, as long as the body of this steward here was in their possession, it would be easier to use it than to try to grow new limbs for Josephine. Waste not.
Want not.
Which is where we're going to be beginning game. Does anyone have any questions, comments, or concerns before that?
Several concerns, but nothing I can do anything about.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not true. You can do
so
something
many
about
concerns.
I have concerns, but I feel like Chastity's gonna help me with at least one of them.
That's true. Chastity offered you a helping hand. And as we return to game, the ship pitches back and forth. The night is still a storm at sea. It is a violent overtaking. And then we cut into one of the bunks. A shoulder rocks back and forth rapidly at a steady pace. Back and forth, back and forth. We see the sweat on a brow in close-up. A bit of red hair falls on to a sweaty forehead. No, it's a curled lock. An elbow fires backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. There's panting. There's panting. There's the sound of springs or metal grinding. There's a shot of a hand grabbing on to a bit of bedspread and scrunching it up like a handkerchief. There's a shot of an eyeball rolling inside of a socket. There's a shot of sweat dripping down a set of full painted lips. And then a majestic spurt of blood as Evelyn finishes hacksawing through the side of the arm, as another noise of completion echoes throughout the room behind, with a similar splash. Evelyn, the arm falls off in your lap.
Well, I think I'd be slightly more careful in that than to allow it to actually hit my clothing.
Oh, no, onto an apron.
Okay, excellent, yes. Well, I will set it next to Josephine for Darcie to deal with in a bit. And
Sounds good. And as you do that, we're going to just kind of focus on the stump of the arm, which without your attention to it is going to spurt a bit of blood out just from the pressure, not the heartbeat, and then is slowly going to sag off of your lap limply onto the floor. Inside of the bunk, some 5 feet behind you, for there's nowhere else on the ship that this could have been done during a storm, there is a curtain that was pulled shut. And Darcie, you are going to be able to just kind of, and, well, Chastity, inside of the dimness of this, that was honestly barely an inconvenience, like giving someone a minor back rub for a couple of minutes. And while it didn't solve all of Darcie's problems, the black veins across their face seem to have vacated during your activity.
It's an odd side effect. Okay.
You are still holding the guest. You were still holding the proof of Tommy Keegan in your hand. It's Keegan. And I will just say that that Tommy Keevan is definitely still here, and is perhaps one of the most present men you have ever met. But he's relaxed finally.
Evelyn, can you pass me a cloth? She's gonna pull back the curtain. Oh.
the handkerchief has like a corner of blood on it, I'd say.
Oh, it's fine then.
It's not dirty, but it's...
Grab it and is gonna wipe her hands off.
Honestly, I need to know, were you on the top bunk or the bottom bunk?
Your bottom.
Cool. Then you'll also have to probably dab the underside of the bunk above you.
Just gonna shove the handkerchief on into Tommy Keegan's hand / chest, and is gonna just hop out of the bunk.
Huh.
I have to ask you a really quick question, Darcie.
Mm-hmm.
Has Darcie ever gone the distance normally?
On herself, yes.
This was weirder and not better.
Yeah. Huh.
And quick. It was like a sneeze by comparison. And now you've got quite a mess to clean up.
This is worse.
You're reminded of the stalactites inside of a cavern as you look at the underside of the bed above you.
No!
Gross.
No!
Sorry, you're right. Stalactites.
Darcie will go wipe and clean up the bed, or the underside of the bed. Then
Can I get you to do me a favor?
uh-huh.
I want you to make me a wits and occult roll.
Wits and occult roll. What is my difficulty?
The difficulty on this is going to be 7 because you're otherwise distracted.
Amy, do not even ask that question. That is going to be a 1 success.
All right. So, as you finish cleaning up the remnants of your brief interlude with your friend, what do you intend to do with the cloth? Because just throw it out the window, throw it in the trash can?
No, because I would know that that can be used for tracking magic if someone finds it.
And as you realize that, you also look down at the collection that you have in front of you and realize, funny as this is, you have a very unique and strange focus in your hand right now.
Yep, I was thinking that.
You have the very source of all life in your hand, according to many beliefs. You could theoretically use this in some type of potion or salve. So that is exactly what I was going to tell you, because the verbena, waste not, want not.
Yep. Oh no. Yep. That was 100%. Let me just add jizz cloth to my notes here.
You know, I was using metaphor this entire time. Way to blew this up a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry. Life cloth.
Life cloth.
Seed cloth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you've just gotten the revelation that you can provide all your own now for these sorts of things.
Right?
You just have to do a little thing every time you turn into a dude for other reasons. You might as well stock up.
Yeah. Exactly. Cool. So yeah, Darcie will look at that, fold it up very neatly, put it in her magic bag, her components pouch.
I'm assuming that you have something that is lined with like wax paper or something like that that will allow something to basically remain hydrated.
Yeah.
Or at least not to leak if you have to use any type of like liquid ingredients.
Yeah. I think she has a bunch of like bottles for making potions and stuff. So she's just going to open a bottle and like jam it in.
Yeah, capture
and then,
it.
Yeah, exactly, capture it.
All right.
And,
so
yeah, and then adjust himself, put things back in you know, zip up pants and
I would like hold on one sec. Perfect. Now the zipper has not been invented yet. You're going to button yourself up.
Oh, yes, button.
And as you button yourself up, you are going to have the most unpleasant feeling in the world, which is what happens when you pinch something in a button or zipper.
Oh, no!
It's not as bad with a button, but you definitely are going to pinch something. And given Tommy Keevan's presence, I need to know left or right.
She's left-handed because she's a witch and evil.
That
so,
means
left.
absolutely nothing.
I know, but I'm just saying left.
So as you make it parallel to your left leg, you go to shift out and then realize, no, that's wrong. And then you readjust to the right. And then you move and you're like, okay, no, what the? So that is what you are doing for a moment, trying to figure out which side you have to exist on. And meanwhile, we're going to cut to outside of the bunk as Chastity, you step outside and see Evelyn holding a bloodied hacksaw. Much like you, she's wearing gloves that are soiled, but hers are soiled with ichor. A bit of tendon clings to the base of that saw. And the dead servant of the Baroness lies in the ground, his blood slowly seeping out of the wound on his arm. Luckily, there wasn't much blood left in his body to exsanguinate. He had been mostly spent by the assassin. And as you are looking at this, can you make me a perception and empathy roll?
And what would be my difficulty?
Difficulty on this is going to be difficulty of 8.
Beauty. I don't have specializations in either of those, but that will be 2 successes.
Evelyn is smiling. There's a little bit of blood on the side of her cheek that she missed. Almost like a beauty mark. It clings to the corner of her lip.
You've got a spot of, just on your mouth corner. Okay. Okay, I think you just smudged it, but, sure, cool. You don't know right there?
Oh, yes, this is quite entertaining.
That was the most revolting thing I've ever heard, Brian will say, from the upper bunk opposite the shenanigan monk.
What? Darcie and Chastity or dismembering?
But not the dismembering. I'm a pussy. I've heard all sorts of dismembering. I've done all sorts of dismembering.
That's why I was kind of surprised, but that's why I was trying to clarify.
Hearing Darcie yowl like that, on the other hand. Oh, sorry. Hearing Tommy Keevan yowl like that. Are you at least a girl again?
No, I'm still not a girl.
Really? Still?
Ah,
I'm just gonna push the curtain back again and just not even bothering for propriety at all and just looking.
No, I'm still a man and I've got this. It doesn't want to choose a side. How do guys deal with that?
Well, I suppose if you really need to, we can find a scarf and you could loincloth it.
It's so weird.
That
I didn't really taken time to think about it, but it's weird.
Do you stand up or keep sitting down in the bunk?
I stand up.
As soon as you stand up, you realize the wand chooses the wizard, and it finds its own side.
Huh.
But it does feel weird adjusting while you're sitting down. I'm going to put that one out there.
No, but okay. Did nothing's changed Darcie still has not seen the fact that she doesn't have her black lightning look to her, so...
Okay, that is not entirely true. You are no longer, Chastity is like wave her hands in front of her face, just like,
Oh, that's gone.
the veins?
Are you saying she's no longer virginal? Oh, the veins, aye.
Darcie's gonna run to a looking glass to go see.
There is a mirror and a small sink in the room.
Huh. I look
Alright,
pretty
well-
handsome.
I'm done with the body. Does anybody want to dispose of it?
Yeah, I can go bring it out for you. Do you think that means I have to do it again?
Have you tried reverting with this spell?
I'm kind of scared. I don't want to pop another one.
I mean, it's not that hard or quickly. It's pretty quick to deal with.
Yeah, that's fair. Don't know what guys are on about.
Could it be that you maybe traded the veins for staying like this for a while?
Honestly, it's not too bad.
Look, at the end of the day, if you've got to dispose of a body, doing so with someone else's face isn't that bad of an idea. Bran says.
What he said.
And then starts purring.
I'm sorry you had to witness that, Bran.
I sure hope he wasn't witnessing. It's a little awkward.
I could
Just
hear it
listening.
and smell it.
Ah, okay, so just the other ones. Other
Yeah.
senses.
Yeah. I'm going to go dispose of a body now. And then I can give Joe a hand, like, considering Chastity gave me one. Darcie's gonna haul up the body and start making his way out to try and dispose of it.
Can you do me a favor and give me a perception and alertness roll, a difficulty of 6?
Okay. Oh man, we need to sleep. I have like 1 willpower left. Difficulty of 6. Perfect. That's gonna be 3 successes.
3 successes. You open the door half an inch and immediately hear the sound of people running by. The deck is flooded with both water and workers as they try to secure the deck, more or less. Outside of your room, there are no fewer than 6 people within sight.
Okay, that's not going to work.
All right. Well,
Can that porthole open?
Can Evelyn transmute it into a smaller organic matter mass?
What's your life rating?
2.
Well, actually, no, don't worry about that. It is not living matter anymore. It counts as matter.
Yeah, it's like organic matter.
Yeah, it's organic matter, but it's still like you just need matter or entropy to get rid of it.
I would like to do so, please.
All right.
My matter for transmutation specialty should help.
It absolutely should. As you head over and grab onto the side of Darcie, you are going to see the lieutenant steward walking toward your door. As you tug on Philippe.
It is.
Okay.
I will add willpower to this.
Darcie's going to start making heavy male grunting sex sounds to distract and hopefully.
Oh no, you're gonna make him think we're whores.
All right, so
okay, would Darcie know that would be a bad thing in Victorian times? Out of character.
You know what I will allow you to do? I will allow you to make me a wits and etiquette roll.
Oh,
So,
guy.
Just checking. Do I also hear this? Because they just headed. Did they both go out?
Well, just open the door.
Oh, the door's just been cracked.
Okay, cool.
It's a small room, so I'm sure you are aware of all of this.
Also,
give it
wits
to me at
and
difficulty
etiquette
6.
this.
Wits
Or
and
vice.
etiquette.
Okay. Difficulty 6?
I don't have etiquette, so that's a -1 or +1 difficulty.
Difficulty 7 for you.
Cat.
Okay.
I'm gonna spend a willpower. That was just bought for me from Traz. Thank you, Traz.
Thank
And
you.
what should be my difficulty be for my Rattray?
Okay, so you need to get the body down, so this is going to take a couple of rounds to do. I want you to describe how are you dissolving this?
Well, I'm not even necessarily thinking I have to dissolve it, but transmute it.
Into what?
Something maybe more compact and narrow that I could fling out the porthole.
Okay.
Like reshape it, essentially, into like just a long tube of flesh that I could just.
Sausage. You want to make sausage?
Yeah.
So you basically want to dissolve it. Okay. That sounds good. This is going to be very rough then. I want you to give me a difficulty.
Oh, yeah. I think she's seeing that this is coming. We need to deal with it now, or
What?
bad stuff's going to happen to us.
What levels are you using? What sphere levels?
Probably, I don't know. I've got matter 4, so.
Okay, please give me this at difficulty 9.
I am using 1 willpower on this.
Are you using other spheres besides matter?
Well, my main thought was just to change its shape, so it was easier to throw out the porthole real quick. Not specifically like destroying it, because that would take like a bunch of dissolving chemicals and whatnot. Help.
Then I'll give it to you at difficulty 8.
Okay.
But you want several successes. So, what we're going to do right now, you hold your roll results. As you start making some loud grunting noises, Darcie, you got how many successes? So you go,
2.
Oh shit, that would be a bad idea, you say, clamping your hand over your mouth before you can get the second grunt out.
Mm-hmm.
And you're pretty sure that as you slam the door shut, yes? Are you?
Yes.
Okay, good. That he probably didn't hear that first grunt anyway. You should not be in this room. This room was booked for 4 women. The cat shouldn't be in this room. Nor the
Darcie's
stolen dog.
We're fucked.
Now, I will say that it is improprietous for a man to enter your quarters, even if they're there on official business. They have more reason to do so, but with 2 successes, you know that he is on shaky ground coming by himself if he is headed into your place. And Chastity, with your role, you used Vice. You know that particularly on vessels like this, you could use your feminine naivete, or at least the illusion of such, to scare off men. Basically by undressing.
Yep. All right. Yep. Okay. Let's unbutton a couple things and make it look like she was just getting changed. So if anyone opens the door, and also maybe pull a curtain.
And if
Sounds
Darcie
good.
climbs up in the bunk with the dog and Bran and pull the blanket over to hide the body, the male body.
And what are you doing with Josephine, who is there with a ragged, not bleeding, stump where her arm once was?
And
Throwing her
arm
under
on
the
her
bed.
lap.
Putting a blanket over her. Trying to be like she's sleepy. Drank a little too much.
Chastity's also like humming to herself.
Which
Okay.
Evelyn has already dealt with the blood pool on the ground. That is gone.
All right, it is. That is how you got quiet. Now, with that
Darcie
said,
will try and have just like her head, like, kind of like to the back, like have Bran and the dog under a blanket, but then have like the blanket kind of like peeking out to show her ginger hair, her red hair out, so then they can at least assume that it's 4 women with that Darcie has the red hair. So Darcie's just gonna kind of be like, shoo.
all right, sounds good. You're going to do that. What I need you to do is make me a manipulation and subterfuge roll at a difficulty of 6.
Okay.
And Chastity, I want you to make me a manipulation or charisma or appearance and subterfuge roll. Any of your social stats will work depending on how you play this.
Okay.
I will give you a difficulty
4 with bold or manipulation 4 with guile specialty.
Okay, if you take bold, I will give it to you a difficulty 5 if she goes to the door mostly naked.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do charisma bold. We're gonna do subterfuge. I have 1 willpower left that is being spent right now.
Yep.
So
I would love to spend mine too, my last willpower, because I do not want to fuck this roll.
All right.
Okay. So that's an automatic one.
So go ahead and do that.
And explode. And you said difficulty 5 for me to do it with bold?
Difficulty 5 with bold. And while you're doing that, Evelyn, what are you using to dissolve the corpse into this chunky tube? Think on that.
Sorry?
Think on that for 1 minute if you need to.
I feel like something chemistry related, even to just make it moldable.
Sounds good.
Not necessarily like dissolve, but moldable.
Do you, so you apply several chemicals inside of your bag?
I think she's pulling out like a couple and kind of like one-handed popping and pouring and then...
Okay. All right. So, Chastity, you are just going to immediately just yank your clothes off. What is your... you are going to fulfill your... not your virtue, your nature right there, which is going to be the reason why the chat just bought you at least 2 points of willpower. So, you'll regenerate 2 points of willpower. Darcie will regenerate 1. So you're going to be feeling pretty good about yourself. Darcie, you have 4 successes to fake snoring in a lighter pitched voice.
Mm-hmm.
And you will hear another little voice next to you going... as the dog continues snoring on the cushion next to you. And we'll be able to go... over its nose and stop it from snoring as Chastity's mental sleep command still continues to override the dog's brain. Chastity, you're going to approach the door with... was that 7 successes I just saw?
It was 6. My thumb was doing something funny, but that was 6.
Okay. So only 6. Okay, so I'm going to do a perception and empathy roll for this guy versus 6 successes.
What was that? Like slightly unbuttoned kind of thing? Like
basically bare-legged.
Loosened down, like legs, like...
You're in your undergarments, essentially.
Yeah, you have
so
one.
Like partially open the door, like kind of like covering up a little bit, like at first.
Okay, so you are preparing yourself for that. Evelyn, you smash into the body with your chemicals. How many successes did you get at difficulty 8?
With the willpower, 6.
Okay, you are going to mold the body, and reaching down, you're going to grab a hold. And the most disgusting thing of your life is going to happen.
Go, Christine.
That is... oh, no. We are... you know what? I gotta do this. I'm gonna blow your paradox right now.
Uh-oh.
So you just got another... you had 3 on you, so that's going to drop you to 0.
Sweet.
You are going to reach down and are going to grab this man by the neck and start to pull. And he is going to lift. He is going to... well, you are going to pull him, slithering out like a length of scat from his clothing. This tube of meat pulls free of his clothes, dropping rings and pocket watches onto the floor as you pull out this naked tube of meat. And it is at that time that it is going to fold over at the mouth. And as you open the window, long barbs are going to break through the flesh as his bones congeal and recirculate. I need an initiative roll.
What?
Everyone?
The dead mass in your hand suddenly surges to life as an an honest-to-God bolt of lightning strikes the side of the ship, sending coursing electricity into the metal of the porthole, electrifying this tube of meat and returning it to some semblance of living. Okay. It is a D10 plus your dex and wits. What are you laughing about?
Mental thought that Evelyn's gonna pay a little bit of attention maybe and try and recreate it later.
And
All right.
do
quiet right now.
Initiative rolls?
Yes, 10s. If you have a wit specialty or a dex specialty, that would apply.
So she is
Okay.
mildly
Okay.
intrigued about this.
Okay, what is your dex mod, Amy and Christine?
3.
My
3?
dex is 2.
And your initiative mod, I should say. The total you added.
Oh, 6.
5.
Okay. So. And then I'll roll for Bran. Bran rolled low. Okay. So, it is the meat's turn. Followed by Darcie, followed by Evelyn, followed by Chastity, followed by Bran, followed by the lieutenant. As you start to push this out, a bolt of lightning is going to strike part of the ship, electrifying into it, and I am going to take my turn. The meat is going to suddenly come alive, and you are going to feel its innards shift like sand inside of a long sheep's stomach. It writhes and is going to take a swing at you. As it just the chat has named it Frankensausage. That's great. As it is going to contort like a finger wrapping around you. That is going to be it has a strength of 5 because it is a full body. And it has a brawl of 1 because it is just a corpse. That is going to be enough, though. Holy shit. Can you make me a contested strength roll, Evelyn?
What do I do for that?
Roll me strength.
Okay. That's a botch.
Okay, please do me a favor and roll me soak.
And that's stamina. I
Yes.
don't do strength, guys. What's the difficulty?
Difficulty 6 for soak.
That's a flat failure.
Okay, the body is you're going to get it halfway out the porthole. The water is exploding around as the rough storm hits, and suddenly the body is going to contort and is going to hit you directly in the chest with the strength of a bull. You're going to take 5 points of bashing damage and are going to be hurled bodily across the room into the wall, shattering the mirror and taking part of the sink away with your hip. The body is flopping like a headless eel inside of the porthole. Darcie, you are going to lurch back up hearing this. Evelyn is dazed. There's blood trickling down her head that you think is hers, although she has this coating of sweaty, viscous fluid from the meat bag all over her arms, like the grease from hamburger.
Great. Okay. This guy and this guy is coming into the potentially look in the cabin. This needs to be dealt with fast and effective. Darcie's going to grab her mother's Book of Shadows, take out the cum cloth, and I would like to use my dissolve life rote.
I will let you make me a wits roll. Just wits, please. Actually, I'll let you make me a wits plus life roll.
Okay. What's my difficulty?
Difficulty of 8.
Okay.
Because I've already said it out of character.
What, that came to life?
Make me the roll.
Okay. Well, I mean, because I didn't know if getting struck by lightning and reanimating is technically it being life again. Because I know you said it was not matter.
Give me the roll. I said it was matter.
Yeah, you said it was matter, but I'm like, I thought with it, that is a single success.
You don't think it's alive.
Okay, so not dissolve.
looking at it, you are going to have your life magic flare to life in front of your eyes, and are going to see that there's plenty of life patterns in this room, but one of them is not that creature.
Cool.
There are other things you can do.
I would like to Kamehameha punch hit through the window with just a forces induced punch.
Okay, how are you doing this? You're on the top bunk of a bed, and this thing is right next to you on a porthole, kind of writhing around.
I think not punch. I think Darcie's going to grab the edge of the bed and swing down and kick it.
Donkey kick it? Both feet?
Donkey kick it with both feet, while just
Okay, I want you to make me a dexterity and brawl roll.
Cool.
But first, make me that arete check. That is going to be an arete check at difficulty of, it's only forces 2, so 5.
Okay.
Oh, actually, for you, sorry, it is a new moon. It's difficulty 7.
Mm-hmm. Cool. That only affects, though, the 5 that I rolled, so that's 3 successes.
3 successes. Fantastic. I want you to do me a favor and make me a dex and brawl roll to connect.
Cap.
You are at a difficulty of 7 because it is a kick.
Would you consider this dirty fighting?
No. I would consider this acrobatics.
Oh, okay. Fair. Difficulty 7.
Mm-hmm.
That is going to be... It's so sad. I rolled so many dice.
You only need 1.
I had 2.
Okay, so what I need you to do is you are going to make a contested strength roll against me to launch this thing out the window. It is going to be... You are going to be rolling strength plus 1 plus 7. Strength plus 8. Difficulty 6.
Okay.
And I'm going to be rolling 5 dice, so good luck.
I'm going to try. Pick him up. Difficulty 6. Oh my god, I have 3 1s on here. That sucks. Wow. That's 1 success because 3 1s canceled 3 of my successes.
Oh, all right. You are going to... oh, pardon me. You used a kick. Please add 1 more dice of damage.
Okay. That's 2 successes then.
2 successes, all right. You are going to swing down and slam your foot into it, evoking some forces. This thing is going to be knocked 2/3 the way out of the window. It is barely holding on. You just have to get a shove in, and you'll be able to. Evelyn, you have been knocked down across the room, thrown nearly 3 meters by this thing's punch. You can see Darcie swings down, kicks it into the porthole. It is only about 2.5 feet through out of its 9-foot length.
Can I try and help and shove it out? Like get up and stagger over?
Yes. Yes, you may. What are you going to use to do it?
I mean, I guess... You know what? If I grab my umbrella, can I use melee to try and shove it out?
I'll allow it.
So I don't have to, just poke it nice and...
Now, don't forget you're in wound penalties right now.
Yes.
You
I
can
know,
spend
I'm at -2. So would that be dex?
With 5? Aren't you at a minus... Or are you just mauled?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm at mauled.
Oh yeah, cool. So that's -2 dice.
Yes.
You can spend a willpower to negate that.
Okay.
If you choose. So it's dex and melee.
Okay, so dex and melee would be that. I will spend the willpower to get rid of the minus.
Okay.
And difficulty?
Difficulty of this is 6.
Sweet. That's 4 successes. No, 5.
4 successes.
There's a 7 over
5.
there. Sorry.
Okay, so please do me a favor. And what you're going to be doing is damage versus my strength. Okay? To see if I can get knocked through. So, you are going to roll, you got 4 successes, so you're going to roll 4 plus your strength.
No, I got more than 4 successes. I got 5, I think.
Okay, then you're going to roll
I said
5.
4, then I went, oh, no, there was another.
5 plus your strength.
Okay.
This thing's strong, but...
And difficulty?
Difficulty 6.
Does anything re-roll on this?
Not unless you have a strength specialization.
Okay. 2, 4, 5.
5 successes, all right. It lets out this horrible squelching moan that is less a moan and more the sound of the wind outside being blown through its multiple greasy orphi. This 9-foot-long meat bagpipe flute thing that you have created convulses as you stab into it, and a burst of stinky, rotting air fires out the hole that you puncture. But as you do, you're going to be able to open the umbrella and push, and it is going to out the side of the porthole, tumbling down into the water below. Chastity, it's your turn.
Yeah. So very much hoping that the storm is helping conceal some of the sound, and is going to. They haven't knocked yet, have they?
They have not.
We just know they're coming.
Yep.
Okay. It would be really great if I could distract them so they don't come any closer. So she's actually going to just sort of, she got her thing like feigning modesty, but not really. Like push the door open, is going to go out into the hallway, and is going to call lieutenant?
Yep.
Call lieutenant over. And is going to be like putting on like a whole dramatic like tears and like, oh goodness, the storm is so terrible, protect me, kind of thing. But you know,
right.
Much better than that.
The man is going to take a look at you as you exit and is immediately going to avert his eyes. Excuse me, young lady, you're going to catch your death of cold out here. You shouldn't be out here. You need to.
It's so cold in my room, and I just can't. I'm just like full body like clinging like yeah.
He is going to continue to sputter through his mustache at you. We should here, take my great cloak and great coat. He's going to take off his shipman's coat and is going to wrap it around you.
No, she'll allow it. But she's also going to be like, but I can't go back to my room alone.
I was yes.
Look, can I just stay with you? You're so brave and strong, and I know that I'd be safe from the storm.
Over the sound of the waves and the wind, you are going to hear a very audible swallowing noise as you are pretty sure with the
Mentally,
6 success.
Bingo.
With the 6 successes you've made, you are already seeing that he is picturing a quaint life in the countryside with you after this meet cute. And I suppose yes, you're right. It is too cold in there for a young woman by herself. I could take you to the the crew lounge. It is quite a bit warmer. There's a boiler in there.
And you'll stay with me, right?
Yes, actually, I was coming to ask you some about a couple of things. Anyway, if please, do you need shoes?
Oh, I really don't want to go back in there on my own. Could you just maybe carry me? I'm quite light.
The ship is going to pitch slightly to the side, giving you the opportunity.
I'm going to let it pitch me even further. Stumble.
No. Oh, yes. I suppose to make sure that you are safe, I must. And he is going to pluck you up. Let's see if he's strong enough to do this. Oh, he actually totally is. Even with a 1 on that, he's... Holy shit. That's... You know what? You were kind of doing this for the lulz, but the way he picks you up does make you feel kind of safe. I'm not gonna lie.
Huh.
You're like, he is like not a big dude, but as he lifts you up, you are going to realize, wow, he's actually pretty wiry under there for like a 5'8" dude. Like, and he is going to pluck you up and is going to carry you over to the senior cruise lounge. Basically princess carrying you. And I am going to take that name because it is awesome. I just generated a name. Do you okay. Do you want his last name to start with a T or an F?
F. Let's do F.
God, you picked the worst name possible, and I love it. Okay. All right. He is going to carry you off to the cruise lounge. And as that occurs, we are going to be able to pop out of initiative as we jump back inside of the cabin. Josephine is still lying in state on the bed. And as you are looking around, the two of you are going to notice a couple things. One is Evelyn is quite badly banged up. You can see that you think she might have fractured her arm, but the pain isn't quite reaching her yet, and her hip has definitely been fractured or bruised at the bone. There is a little bit of blood welling up at the corner of her mouth and the side of her head, and as she's kind of wobbling a little bit, you are going to notice that the meat tube is gone, but what remains is all of his clothing and items that are lying on the floor as if just to break kayfabe and drop he Jedi'd out of his robes. They are all laying on the ground, and something is kind of glimmering in the light.
Darcie will go look at it.
Evelyn, what are
Evelyn's
you
gonna
doing?
lean against the bunks and just start giggling.
Good call. Evelyn, take a willpower point back
Yes!
for indulging your quiet. I'll give it to you as an extra nature right now.
Well, my nature is mad scientist.
Okay, then it's just as good. It's just as good. So, Darcie, as you sift through the bodies, or through the remains, with Evelyn giggling behind you,
Super concerning. Super concerning.
something is going to appear in your hand that is going to catch you quite off guard. Inside of his waistcoat, well, inside of his top coat, I should say, you are going to see the Baroness's necklace. The beautiful, I believe it was sapphire? The ornate... Was it emerald on her? It was emerald, you're right. Emerald mines. The emerald necklace that she was wearing, the one that made the one on her dog look like something from a penny store. This is diamond and emerald knitted into the most exquisite piece that you've ever seen, and off of her plump neck it is even more stunning. It was tucked inside of one of his inner pockets. Who knows what else was in there?
Just gonna do a good old-fashioned loot the body.
Can you please make me a perception and investigation roll? If you don't have
I actually can. I have 1 point of investigation because of the the murders that we are investigating.
Oh wow, I'm so proud of you.
What is my
Evelyn, as you're giggling at the situation being this ludicrous, you are going to be able to focus on the fact that Darcie has just pulled this amazing necklace out of this man's clothing. And with 2 successes, you are going to find that he has a number of credentials on him, as well as a quite an expensive set of rings, he is going to have a very ornate pocket watch, clothing that is from one of the finest tailors in Germany, Austro-Germany, at least. And aside from a billfold with a significant amount of francs in it, you are going to find a sealed letter. It is addressed to the Baroness on behalf of an address in London, a place called Lloyd's of London. There's an official stamp on the back, and it appears that the envelope is very thick, water-resistant type of, like, waxy paper.
Do I recognize the Lloyd's of London?
You can go ahead and make me an intelligence and streetwise or politics roll.
Oh, I've got none of those.
You can make me an intelligence roll at a difficulty of 9.
Okay. Nope, I rolled a 4 and a 2.
Okay, you have no idea what this is.
Huh.
Okay. Can you please do me a favor and make me an intelligence and academics roll?
Okay.
Do you have academics?
I do. I have a
Okay.
point. It's in music theory, but I do have a point of academics.
Now let me just double check one thing before you roll.
Mm-hmm. Which I will be spending a willpower on.
So I'll let you do academics, but the easiest way to do this would be law. If you have a point of law.
Yeah, no, I do not have a point of law.
Okay. You can do academics at a difficulty of 8.
Okay, I am spending a willpower on that.
Okay.
All right, 2 successes.
It's an insurance policy.
Oh. On who?
Not on who. It is an insurance policy on a family heirloom owned by the Baroness to protect it in case of loss or theft during a voyage. It is signed, looking down at it, it is not signed by the Baroness. It is signed by one Emile. It is signed by this man, Emile Dubois. And as your eyes track down, the insurance policy is worth £5,000. A quick note. The value of $5,000, not pounds, from this era, roughly equates in modern money to $188,000.
Oh, yep.
So in pounds, that is probably a $250,000 insurance policy.
Yeah. So he has the letter, though.
He had the letter.
With the insurance policy. So...
And skimming down...
It wouldn't make sense for her to pay him to steal it if she doesn't have the letter.
It's true. One other thing you will notice as you are reading through it is that there is a clause at the bottom. This is to insure it against loss or theft during its transport for sale to a gentleman in Cairo. The man in question is a man named Hanif Suleiman. Now, you are very certain that that necklace is probably not worth $300,000. Well, we'll say 5,000 pounds just to be easy. It is.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know diamonds very well, but you couldn't imagine this is worth more than 1 or 2. But an insurance policy doesn't have to be for value; it can be inflated value. And as you are looking through this, it is going to be called Lloyd's of London. Which one moment, please? Lloyd's of London Insurance Underwriters. Or Lloyd's of London Insurance Company.
Uh-huh. I'm being dumb.
Mm-hmm.
To try and figure out how, because it is, I don't, to me, Robin, the player, it's not making sense that both the heirloom and the insurance policy would be with the same person.
Perhaps it doesn't make sense.
Okay.
I will say, out of character, the plot made a lot more sense before a bunch of events happened.
Fair.
Like, this plot made so much sense, and then Jen blew her cover in the fighting pit. Then you got stuck as a man. Then you fought a meat tube. Then this guy got murdered.
Paradox. Well, like, the guy getting murdered was,
was not part of the plan. It definitely wasn't part of his plan.
No. Okay. So Darcy's gonna look at this and be like, Evelyn, can you, quell the frankly disturbing laughter you're doing right now? Little bit off that you're giggling like this. Kind of really fitting in the mad scientist shtick. Can you come look at this insurance policy over here?
Happened? It was so ridiculous.
It was absolutely mad. But
and she'll try and take a step, realize how much pain she's in.
Ooh.
Because you were like, she probably has fractured her hip. Grasp at the wall, realize her arm's broken, and then kind of collapse back down to the bunk.
Okay. I will, okay. Let's
I go,
let's get sorted.
Oh, that's right. I did get thrown into the wall.
Evelyn, you're going to cough a bit of blood up onto your lips and reflexively reach for your handkerchief, which is no longer there.
Oh. Damn it, Evelyn.
Oh, Darcie will reach for a handkerchief of her own that I'm sure she has on her regular female clothes to hand Evelyn back.
Oh, thank you. I did kind of tap at her lips and go, that's not good.
Just hold on a minute, and Darcie will open up her mother's spell book and grab some herbs and just, here, eat this, and kind of
difficulty 7, please.
Difficulty 7. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We'll put in some. Give you that good healing. That's rude, and my 10 does not like the fact that you told it to botch. So I'll re-roll that 10. And it rolled into another 10. And then a 6. Okay, so that's 4 successes.
4 successes? Okay. All right, Evelyn. Do you consume the herbs?
I will.
A coursing chill runs down your body that is followed by a blazing warmth of fever. You will feel a numbness creep into the battered parts of your extremities, and when the numbness fades away, like back when you were in Canada on the winter mornings when you would go outside for walks with your mother and your fingertips would freeze inside of your mittens and you'd bring them back inside of the house and sit and drink tea in front of the fireplace with quavering fingers and cold toes. That same type of pins and needles will erupt from your inners, your hip, your stomach, your lip. And you're fine.
Huh. Oh, do you want help with Josephine?
Yeah, actually,
Should probably deal with that now.
Yeah, the longer the limb
distractions
gets further from life, the harder it's going to be for me, and then I just will have to regrow her a limb.
And she'll just wave a hand at you.
No, let's go give Josephine a hand.
All right.
I have a hand for her.
And as you do prepare that ritual, we're going to switch back to Chastity. Chastity, you find yourself sitting in a comfy, tight quarters, not much larger than your bedroom there. It has a pair of sofas that have been affixed to the floor, as well as a steam boiler in the center of the room. Well, a little, it's not a steam boiler, I should say, so much as a little wood furnace for heating this. There's a little bar along the corner that has a couple of bottles, gin, whiskey, a couple of other inebriants, and a small bucket of citrus. Mostly limes. The man is going to head over and begin sifting through. Can I get you anything to drink? Are you fond of gin? You're American, right? I could get you, I have rum, Caribbean rum here, as well as, whiskey, bourbon.
Up to you.
I do like bourbon, if you wouldn't mind. I'll pour us both a glass.
Sounds great.
Now, I must say, Miss Goodwin, correct?
Mm-hmm.
It would be improper of me to be... excuse me.
You're welcome to call me Chastity.
Chastity. It would be improprietous of me to be meeting with you one-on-one like this were this not an official matter of business. Even then, it does strain the bonds of credulity. So, of course, ice. He will hack off a little bit of ice from a drawer and bring it over to you with a bit of lime on the side, just in an old tradition for scurvy. I was with the Royal Navy for quite a while. Well, since I can call you that, I'm Lieutenant Enoch Fabel. But you are welcome to call me Enoch. If I may call you Chastity. I am...
Fable? As in the myths and stories?
Originally has a similar root, I understand. But Fable with two B's. But it's like cleric and clerk. They're all similar words at the root. Apparently,
well, it is then.
I suppose so.
Now, I'm picturing Chastity, like, sitting on one of the couches close to the boiler with the great cloak wrapped around her and, like, her knees up and kind of, like, sort of, like, perched up there.
Okay. And he is kind of just sitting across from you, trying to give you a bit of space. Trying.
If in that case, then would you care for a refill?
Chastie's gonna knock back the rest of the glass that had only been partially drank, and then we'll hold her glass out happily as in reply.
I would be happy to do so.
And he will sit and just make idle chit-chat with you. He is 25 years old. He is originally from not New South Wales. He's from South Wales. And joined the Royal Navy when he was 16. And traveled around until he was decommissioned due to some issues that he would rather not talk about, and traded to a merchant vessel.
And she will offer idle chit-chat in response, and as much as she knows of nod where is appropriate, because I don't think that she expects anyone to want her to talk or say anything in particular for this sort of conversation.
And yet he asks a bunch of questions about what a woman with your accent is doing out here.
She will
And
give
where
the
you're
story
from.
we've essentially given, that she's from America, she's been traveling, and etc., etc. Mostly things that they've already said to other people.
It's very
Sticking to
fascinating.
that story.
It must be very freeing to be able to do that as a woman. My mother always said that she dreamed of travel, but was never able to. She was never able to leave. I don't believe she even had left Wales when she passed, let alone our county.
In some ways. In some ways, I wish I was still home.
Well, I'm sure that you'll make it home safely after you have a grand adventure.
Maybe. We'll see.
Why would you be worried about that?
I don't know. What if I find someone and settle down?
I suppose that is always an option. What type of suitor might you be looking for?
Someone smart that I get along with? Good sense of humor? Good looks? Well read? Anyway.
He sounds like quite the catch.
Why? What about you? Do you have someone at home?
No, No. I have, not stayed in one place long enough to, make much of a mark in that department. I suppose I have a couple more years before I need to worry about settling down. I'm only 25. It's not like I have to worry about being a spinster. Perhaps once I get my own commission or boat.
Well, again, for all I know, I might just end up at the church, so. Who knows?
I have no idea whether or not it is invasive for me to say this, so please forgive me if it is, but I would say that a woman of your wit, charm, and, pardon me for saying so, beauty, to not pass along such traits to another generation would be a shame upon the race.
You don't think being married to the divine is not worthy a cause?
I think that God has quite enough wives. Whereas gentlemen on Earth were placed here for the opportunity to create joy and harmony. Before you join the church, do consider coming back. I would love to give you a tour around the Greek islands where we dock. It's something you definitely would want to see before you pick up any habits.
Well, I already have plenty of habits, but yes, I see where you're going.
Yes, I imagine so. Well... I apologize. I get loose at the lips when I drink.
Tends to be a common thing, I think.
And yet you are...
And yet we all still do it.
You seem to have a good control over your liquor and your lips.
I think she's gonna do a little bit of a spit take on that one just because she's not expecting it from him.
It is obvious that you are a woman in great control of herself.
I will take that as a compliment. Thank you.
Oh, of course it is. I try not to say anything to anyone that would not be a compliment or a genuine encouragement for growth. But I also find that with when dealing with most women, the former can be quite invasive, and the second quite unwanted. And given most of the women I know, I'm not the type of person who deserves to try to give them advice.
You don't get many women on board other than passengers, do you?
The captain tends not to hire women, aside from in the kitchen. We have had some quite wonderful cooks.
That's remarkably progressive.
The captain hired his wife and sister for a while. He married an Egyptian woman who was fleeing some oppressive religious elements in Egypt.
I see.
It was quite a shame to lose her. Anyway, do you think that you would be amicable to being escorted back to your room, or would you prefer a third drink?
Perhaps you could tell me of some of your adventures and stories first? The most
Adventures.
You haven't told me the most exciting place you've seen yet.
Wow. That would probably be my tour in China. Actually, instead of China, he probably would say Cathay in the day, but one moment, please. Let's find out how good he tells this story to you. Ooh, wow, it's actually not terrible despite the trauma. He is going to tell you about his
briefly and in not so many words about his time around China and Hong Kong during a naval excursion that turned quite awful. Particularly because of tensions that are presently arising in China. But that said, he thinks that it'll probably boil over. There's a lot of anti-Western sentiment there, but it's not like it's going to ever get worse than that. He doesn't believe at all that there's going to be any type of like armed uprising or rebellion in the next 2 to 3 years. But yeah. So he will basically talk about a number of things that he has survived, and we'll try to downplay a lot of it, but
I can read between the lines.
He can. Yeah, he probably got a commendation for some of it.
I figure what Chas is doing is essentially trying to give her the others as much time as possible to clean things up, but also is having a surprisingly good time chatting with this guy. So is happy to just sort of just keep the conversation going until it seems like a decent amount of time has passed and it seems like a natural time to leave.
All right.
Probably in exchange for some of his stories, we'll be telling like sort of like short anecdotal little like funny moments when she was being trained initially at the by the church when she first ended up here in the 1800s.
Interesting. I'll ask a bunch of very pointed questions that prove that he's paying attention to the words that you're saying, not just waiting for a chance to speak or speak over you.
Which is wild because she's not used to this.
He does wonder what it's like deciding to embrace Catholicism to that degree, given that he was definitely raised Protestant.
All right, so okay, Amy, not a historian and not
totally
super 100% sure on this, but let's see. So she was from Massachusetts.
Yeah.
In the Boston Bay colonies, which was Puritan?
They were Puritan, yes. However,
and then she got yeeted 200 years into the future from Puritan to what I think ended up being mostly... There's going to be... I think there's a lot of Catholic
There are a lot
area.
of Catholics in Boston, yep. There is... And it's still a lot of Protestant.
There should also be some
there.
Protestant. So
There is,
I think she's more... I think she's...
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure where she's at. I think she's more Protestant.
Then he's going to be very surprised because when you say you're becoming a nun, he's going to assume Catholic. Because that's the majority of nuns.
It's... Yeah, I'm just not based... Because she's Celestial Chorus, not specific denomination.
So the question that we're going to leave your scene on is he's going to turn to you as he fills your drink and go, I have to ask, though. With your, straddling the line between Protestantism and Catholicism, however do you travel with an Irish woman without killing each other? And then he's going to pass you your fourth drink. And then we're going to swap over to the inside of the room. Josephine is barely conscious as you hold the arm up. And how are you doing this?
So I think kind of using her mother's spellbook as her, main foci. She is having Josephine. I think as much as it's a new moon right now, Darcie's going to try and wait for the witching hour. So try and, because I know it was late, so it's probably getting close to the witching hour.
Okay.
To try and have the best chance at channeling her magic, because she knows it's during a full or a new moon right now, so she's going to try and play to the other sort of cycles that that she knows of.
Okay. So I need to ask: are you going to attach the arm using only magic, or are you going to try to stitch it to her, or something like that? Maybe not you. Is Evelyn going to try to stitch it onto her?
I think Evelyn will just ask, what would help? And offer, like, I can sew it on if that would help.
So
she'll kind of hold it up and align it in the right direction, so like the hand's not like backwards on the arm.
Out of character.
Life 3.
Yeah. But so in character, Darcie's dealing with her own phantom limb situation, so she's going like, I don't know if Josephine wants to see physical evidence of her arm being different, because that would fuck up Darcie a lot, because Darcie's already dealing with that. So, but would Darcie know if that is any better for using magic to make it more effective, to have it sewn on?
It definitely would be slightly less uncanny. Basically, if you just magic it on, it's going to be catastrophic. If you try to reattach it first, it will be just uncanny.
Evelyn will pull out a sewing kit then.
Yeah.
And transmute one of her needles into a more curved, like, flesh stitching needle versus, like, close sewing needle.
Can you please do me a favor and make me a strength or dexterity and crafts roll?
Oh man, Darcie actually has a specialty in sewing for crafts.
I would also allow medicine.
Yes, please. Let's do some dex and medicine, because I definitely do not have crafts.
I actually have crafts for sewing, which is funny.
Difficulty was 6, you said?
Difficulty of 6.
3 successes.
Josephine is thankfully the one good thing that has happened today is that she remains unconscious as you stitch the limb back on. Luckily, Emil was not that much larger, and while the limb is ungainly on Josephine's arm, it is not like a gorilla's arm like many of the men on this ship. Or
yes, but
Tommy Keevan's.
If it is unproportionate, I can use life 3 to also just adjust it.
Then what is going to happen is your difficulty on this. If you wish to shapeshift it down, you are going to be at difficulty 7, and I need 6 successes.
Okay. I will do that.
Now I need to ask, are you going to combine your effects for this? Because Evelyn has life magic and can help you.
Oh.
I do have dots of life.
But you will need to you need to negotiate how you would do it together.
Oh yeah, because Darcie's using potions and spells and herbs.
What is the paradigm? Describe your foci. How do you call upon the magic of the wick and the old gods and whatever you do to merge these bodies and transform them with magic? What is your belief system?
So my belief system is calling upon ancient rites and powers of Mother Earth and using them to affect the living life around me. So it is all about accessing the wick and capabilities of that through rituals and spells that are basically the practice of rituals to then access this power to use. So basically almost borrowing the power of Mother Gaia.
If you want Evelyn to help you, I want you two to talk it out in character and figure out your paradigm.
Yes. So I think Evelyn, if you explain that to her, she'll go, well, what are the herbs for?
Well,
like, you made me eat, and you always use, like, stuff.
They're almost... Well, they're like, I guess, like lightning rods for magic. You know, like how in a storm, you don't want to be standing out by a tree because that is the closest thing, or you want to be standing by a tree. You don't want to be out and about in a storm because you're going to be the thing that gets struck first. Like the herbs and the things are like they're healing.
But
and
certain spells have certain herbs
components,
and different types. All right, so you're actually using the chemical composition and the effect it has upon different body parts, but it's translated as... She's going to break it down to a scientific thing that Darcie just kind of goes, no, it's symbolic. But everyone's like, magic. No, you're glossing over that. It's actually science. It can all be broken down to science. It's got a reaction, which helps guide the power along those lines, but it is a scientific reaction.
I don't have a fancy degree. I just told what my mom says in my spell book, and what Mai told me is how this works. They're healing herbs. They help.
Yes, because they stimulate certain parts of the cell, which helps with regrowth and flesh knitting.
I guess, did you want to... I can give you some herbs, I guess, if you want to, like, maybe add some of your chemicals to them to make it more effective.
Well, which ones would you use for this in particular?
I would definitely use a...
Basically, if you list what you would use, she will then go, oh, well, that would be this extract and this, and start pulling stuff out of her kit. And, well, I suppose we could probably substitute that for this. Should work the same. It's the same base chemical compound. Start, like, potioning it up. And there is quite a bit of lightning, so potentially... The body works through electrical signals, is what I understand from the readings. She's going to, like, pull some pieces out of her kit that, like, collapse and expand and have, like, a radio signal, like, with a little umbrella on the end, and it's all metal, like, everything pops out and feed it out the porthole.
If you don't mind, I'm just going to go. She'll grab some chalk from her bag. If you want to maybe put that rod here on the circle that I'm drawing, that is a sort of focus point as well. So if you put that there to get out the porthole,
right,
we can draw.
I have some more copper wires, so we can give it to 2 spots. But I think if it stimulates the arm, should it increase the ability of it to connect.
Yeah, because introducing a foreign object, the body has a chance to potentially reject it. It's not familiar. So this might be
of shock.
It might just override
and not notice. We'll slip it past the defenses.
That sounds like a plan. Quick, I think we're getting near the witching hour.
Well, this is going to require an entire ceremony worth to do this, because I'm looking at the rules right now. So let's do it. Right. That is going to be, it doesn't have to be a social event, but can involve solitary practice as well as communal gathering. An arete performed. It takes about an hour to do this. And what you're going to do is you're going to be acting in concert. So the way this works is each mage must have at least 1 dot of each of the spheres involved in the ritual's effect. Okay, done. You just need life magic for this. That's fine. And do you have any matter, Darcie?
I do not know.
Okay. Well, it's still living enough, I will say. All participants must remain in contact with each other.
There's also the option, if it gets stated that it's a bit not feminine, since it's currently dead, Evelyn could kind of transmute it a bit first. Adjust its shape to make it easier on Darcie afterwards. If that would help.
That would be a different so I'm gonna say no, because we're gonna say that this is still alive enough. There's still enough living energy in it for the purposes of adding it to a body, not so much as like dissolving living matter.
Okay. Yeah, if not, then I'll just then I would just be crafted, because I can craft limbs. So if not, then Darcie would just be crafting a limb if it's dead.
So what we're gonna do is you've already worked out your shared approach. Now the way it works is coordinating a ritual may demand several hours of prep time. Once everything has been established, though, the casting works together in one of two ways. Equal collaborators, that is, mages who are more or less on the same level as the primary caster, can roll their arete and add their successes toward the success of the ritual as a whole. The effect's difficulty is the same for everyone. Okay. Alternatively, enlightened assistants, that is, mages with less knowledge and experience than the primary caster, add 1 automatic success to the effect, up to a maximum of 5 successes per participant. They do not apply to canceling out a botch if Darcie botches.
Okay.
Mm.
Well, I only have 2 dots. So I think
that
I have to be an assistant.
I think that we're going to go with enlightened assistant, because you could not cast this effect on your own.
Yes.
So, but that's still good. So that means that with Evelyn's aid, Darcie, you will have 1 success toward the 6.
Yeah. If it was Evelyn having to do this, it would be like a metal prosthetic of some sort.
Yeah.
So, go ahead and make me an arete roll. I need to ask, so your difficulty 7 right now, are you going to use your rag? It'll count as an additional focus. Lower your difficulty by 1.
Oh. Yeah, sure. Darcie will make a new one after.
I was going to say, you could just make another afterwards.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really true. Quick, is anyone spending quintessence?
Sorry, Joe. Yeah, I'm going to spend a point of quintessence to lower.
Difficulty 5.
Can I also?
Yes, you may, because it's a joint. It's a joint.
Cool. I will
Casting.
do that then.
Difficulty of 4. Darcie, please roll arete. Difficulty 4.
Cool. I'm gonna spend a willpower myself on this. So 2 successes.
Okay.
And I can't botch. Because I
You can't
my
botch
willpower
because of that
still.
willpower. Good job.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Difficulty 4.
Cool. Ho, 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 ho. There's a 10. There's a 10.
And what's your life focus again? Your specialty?
My specialty is in injuries, so I want to have my seeking so Darcie can switch to healing, because she's kind of she's almost through her dark shit. So, I want her to have a seeking. Yep, but it won't count as 2. 6 successes.
Okay. Lightning is going to crackle outside as you merge the flesh, running your fingers up and down it as Evelyn hands you herbs and administers different tonics to the flesh to soften it. For a moment, as you run your fingers up and down it, calling on the old prayers from your Book of Shadows, you massage the flesh into Josephine's smaller, scarred arm. It is like crafting a potter's vase on a potter's wheel. The clay shifts in your hands, the flesh shifts, merging down as the magic takes over, as the magic resizes it. As all of that occurs, Josephine is going to struggle in her sleep, her unconsciousness fading away as she lets out a scream of pain. She arches her back so strongly that you think that something is going to break.
Josephine, Evelyn, gag. Rag her. She doesn't break her teeth.
Piece of leather.
Okay. You put a piece of leather between her teeth and watch as one of her teeth punches into the leather like a tool. She would have lost a tooth from this. She sags back to her pillow as the magic takes hold. And you look down at Josephine's arm. It is once again hers. The nails shortcut and mannish, which is not that dissimilar from Josephine's own. The only thing that distinguishes it is a wide, ragged scar that outlines the seam of this new limb around her elbow, as if it were a patched shirt sleeve. The lower arm is quite a bit lighter, all the way to the wrist, as if it had not been seen in sunlight in some time. And to be fair, the butler, the assistant, had likely not been much of a man to leave his arms exposed. But as she sags back to the pillow, she sighs in her sleep and reaches up with her new limb and pulls the leather out of her mouth and rolls over.
Evelyn's going to try and kind of like pick up her arm a little bit to kind of like have a look and, oh, very neat job. Well done.
She's going to shove at you. Let me alone, I'm trying to sleep.
I know. Just gonna kind of poke at the scar a little bit just to double check.
Give her fingers a bit of a squeeze, see if you can, if there's circulation.
Evelyn will check that and pull a pin out of probably her hair and lightly prick to just make sure there's a reaction.
Stop! And she'll shove you.
Oh, looks like it worked.
Like
Good job.
Feeling better. Couldn't have done it without you, Evelyn. Thank you.
She'll start reeling in all her bits and pieces.
She'll just start like kind of get a rag from the broken sink and try and like wash the chalk away as well.
I suppose I should fix the sink.
While you fix the sink, I'm going to go make another foci.
She's just not going to respond and go and fix the sink. I think for that in particular, she's going to pull out her set of chemicals that her husband tried to research, publish out from under her about gluing two like bits together.
Sure, give me a difficulty 5 roll.
And then she'll probably like just try and smooth out the seams afterwards. That's 3 successes.
Perfect. That'll last at the very least until, it'll probably break in another couple weeks.
So somebody else leans on it when we're not around.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's fine. It's not
our fault then.
Yeah. Random's comment.
The rest of the sailing is surprisingly comfortable. The storm abates, and the storm goes as Darcie comes, and as we shortly after that, the lieutenant will return Chastity back to her room. He wishes you well. And if you ever need conversation, please don't hesitate, Miss Chastity.
Thank you, Enoch. It's very kind of you.
And do look me up before you decide to join a nunnery.
I will keep that in mind.
Perhaps by that time I have a commission that would look attractive to young women.
could hope.
Well, thank you for escorting me back and for the very pleasant company.
I'm the one who should be thanking you. It's been quite a while since I've had such stimulating conversation with anyone.
Well, and I believe this is yours. She'll take the cloak, the jack coat off and
Yes.
hand that back.
I suppose it is. Well. Good luck on the rest of your voyage. I imagine that you'll find Egypt to be quite interesting to one with such a voracious mind. Good night,
I'm
Chester.
sure it will be. Good night.
And he will
And
leave you in...
She'll just go in and close the door, and we'll listen until he leaves to make sure that he is in fact gone before she goes back through.
He will leave, leaving you there with your friends.
I feel like she's like closes the door behind her, looks at the others to see if they're in the room, and is like, and then listening. Once he's gone, he'll be like, okay, what did I miss?
So much. But one note is that Evelyn will make sure that everything possible of the guy will be gone out the porthole before the storm abates.
Yep.
Sounds good.
We got Joe's arm
and
back on.
I think maybe once everybody's here, once Josephine wakes up, discuss maybe what Darcie found.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Evelyn will, once everything seems cleaned up and everything's good to go and Chastity comes back, turn to Bran and go, so, where's my rat?
Oh, the rat. Right about here. And he will pull a rat that has been wrapped inside of a piece of hose. As in a piece of, like, ladies' pantyhose.
Lovely.
And
Thank
has
you.
been trying to gnaw its way out for quite a while. It looks at you with a look of shock and disdain.
Is that a rat?
Yes. It is good observation. She's going to slip it into a little, like, create a little cage of some sort to hold on to it.
Fantastic. And with
Probably
that,
weave something out of wire real quick.
fair. You'll be able to do so. And the next day comes rather quickly. The rest of your voyage picks up quite a bit of steam, and before long, you find yourselves leaving. Disembarking, Josephine still in a bit of a stupor, playing with her new arm with a bit of confusion and a bit of, a bit of a furrowed brow as you exit the ship. Outside, you can hear the sound of porters moving people along. The Baroness is visible and quite distraught. I won't be leaving without my... without a meal. He must be around here somewhere. Yes, Darcie.
So the morning as they're disembarking, because they were all seen traveling together as the four. So Darcie, in the morning, is going to try and attempt to assume her female form again, because I think her not being there. It doesn't. I'm still on, dude. No.
Do you think you need another hand?
If only you had a place for that, because as you're trying that, it is time to disembark. And as you make your way down, off the plank, carrying your things, I'm assuming that Tommy sneaks away as soon as he can, carrying his belongings.
I mean, Darcie's belongings are probably feminine looking, so...
You're going to hear, as you're kind of sneaking out of there,
Kevin! Tommy! You ready to disembark? You hear a voice come, the voice of Sam Blackwood.
Yeah.
You know what? That explains a lot. You borrowed your sister's suitcase. No wonder you smell like a French whore.
Darcie's like in her mind being like, excuse the fuck you, buddy.
Look, I appreciate whatever you gave me the other night. Cleared me right up. I thought I would be pissing blood for a week.
Think nothing of it.
Yeah. Come here.
But
He's gonna wrap an arm around you and start pulling you toward the edge of the boat. This is your first time down here, right?
Take a look at this. And he's going to pull you over to the edge of the ship and sweep a hand out at the ancient glory of Alexandria. Majestic, beautiful, and like no architecture you've ever seen. It's goddamn stunning, isn't it? Think of all the stuff that was lost here over time when the Caesars laid waste to it. Burned the library. It's a miracle
Alright,
it's still even
Jane.
here. What?
I just said it's a right shame that they burned the library.
That's fine. They kept all sorts of stuff. Plus, honestly, you gotta thank the Muslims for that. They kept all sorts of copies of everything. At that point, honestly, most of Europe had, well, it wasn't Europe at the time, but, you know, the Romans really didn't give two shits about, ancient Greek texts and stuff like that. Anyway.
Are you a fan of he's some kind of history? Don't look like the history type.
I like knowing stuff about stuff. Besides, the Romans were manly as hell. Nothing wrong with knowing a little bit about, the foundations of society, right?
The more you know, the better you are.
Well, I'm sorry, I don't know as much about Cuchulainn. Or whoever you learned about in Irish school. But tell you what, Henry and I are catching a buggy out to the riverboat. Why don't you grab your dames and we'll head out together? I think that's a yes. Hurry the hell up.
Yeah, I think that sounds.
You're still taking the riverboat with us, right?
Right. Darcie's like, I've fucking fucked myself up with this identity. Yeah, I think they're, I'm probably going to leave them. They're going to the barge and continuing their journey with their friend that, looks like she could be my sister, honestly.
She isn't your sister, huh? Well, look.
No.
Look, just bring them all. The carriage is going to have room for everybody. We're paying for the seats, you might as well use them. Besides, you can thank a lot of the locals for saving some of the texts from Alexandria, but I wouldn't trust them. Not with a bunch of, well, as Henry would say, I wouldn't trust a bunch of palefaces around here. You make too much of a target. With your pretty parasols, well, with their pretty parasols and, you know, those dresses, the locals will eat them alive.
Ah.
Good thing we got 3 strapping boys to protect them, right? Come on. Hurry the hell up.
Yeah, just one thing real quick. And Darcie's gonna give him like a little punch in the face for calling. That's what you get for calling my sister a French whore.
I said she smelled like a French whore. I didn't say she was a French whore. She obviously would be an Irish whore. He rubs his cheek.
See, that I can get away with. I'll let you get away with. Not calling her French.
Fucking potato.
You fucking American. Yankee. Come on, let's go get those dames. Appreciate the gesture. You're a good lad.
Yeah. All right, let's go. And with that, as you are beginning to carry your things out of your room, you saw Tommy step away, and boom, now he's coming right back. Followed by Sam Blackwood. Ladies.
Got a lift.
No, keep going, Tommy. Ladies.
Yeah, keep going,
Are you
Tommy.
joining us?
Sam's behind Darcie, and you're just seeing the Darcie's face is just like, I don't know what to do here. I'm the crew and the ship saw the four of the ladies disembarking. The four ladies are on the bar.
For God's sake, Kevin, don't leave them waiting. What are you even doing? And he's gonna push past you and say, ladies. And is going to pick up Josephine's bag and either Evelyn or Chastity, whoever's closest bag.
Evelyn's bag is going to shock him with how heavy it is, probably.
You're, loaded for
Cheers.
bear. What?
Cheers.
Oh, yes. I have to still be able to, like, conduct my research still as we go.
Research. All right. Look, what Tommy was trying to say around a mouthful of mashed potatoes was that we've got a carriage waiting to go to the
that's lovely.
steamboat.
Thank you.
You might as well come with us to the riverboat. We're paying for it. You might as well get an escort by 2.5 handsome gentlemen.
Listen, you don't need to sell yourself short just because I beat you.
Oh, you're already short enough for me, buddy. Not only that, but in bright sunlight, it's kind of even hard to see you here. You're so transparent.
Well,
you might want to rub some
I can...
olive oil on you.
Oh.
You're trying to get him greased up for something.
I was gonna say, you're offering.
You're right. If that happens, he'll probably end up like a fried potato. Shall we? Direct sunlight's not your friend, my friend.
Yes, let's. If you gentlemen are quite finished with the insults, let's go.
Oh
Well,
no,
I'm
please
not
carry
done, but
on and let's go.
I'll take a break, thankfully. I'm gonna spend enough brain power trying to carry this thing. What the fuck is it? He's gonna mutter to himself as he carries your bag off.
I think Evelyn will just kind of try to walk quietly beside Tommy and just kind of, maybe Darcie went on ahead and had something special arranged for, or got an offer or something to kind of like.
Is it the other one?
Oh, you're
So-
eavesdropping now. We're trying to have a polite conversation.
I'm just trying to make sure that none of you get robbed or maimed on the way through the square, okay?
It is just the three of us at this time. Darcie's meeting us further.
Wonderful. I haven't met this other one, I think, so... At least she doesn't have heavy luggage.
This is true, at least not for you to carry.
Right.
Tommy's gonna glare at Evelyn for that. I Darcie has baggage. We know this.
Hey, Henry! As you walk down the plank, there is Henry in the middle of the square, having haggled with a man with a carriage, and, camels? A carriage being pulled by camels.
How interesting.
Huh.
There's a place to load up the luggage in the back. And Henry takes a look at Sam, grabs your luggage off him, Evelyn, and is going to sag a bit, even though that Henry has almost 3 inches on Sam, and is going to go, crazy white women, and is going to put it on the back of the carriage.
I can lift it.
Darcie can lift it too.
I pack
As long
light.
as I can lift it onto something, that's all.
The
that
carriage
matters,
is
right?
going. Everyone, head inside. Henry will say, and will climb up into it himself.
Darcie
Evelyn will-
almost goes to like be part of the ladies going first, but then Darcie's like, "Wait, I'm a dude." Opens the door for the ladies.
Evelyn will try and grasp the side, hike her skirts enough to step up and in.
Boost my late. Darcie will hold out. Tommy will hold out his arm to like offer like a step for like grabbing to lift up.
And
Jess
as
is absolutely going to take advantage of this and is like trying not to cackle.
Josephine is going to rather dumbly take a step up inside as well, is finally starting to come back to her senses. And Darcie, it's just the 3 of you guys out there, and Sam's going to wave. Well, actually, Henry already went in because he balks European trends, because fuck them. So it's just you and Sam on the outside, and he's going to... Anytime, Twinkle Toes.
After you. You're obviously higher stature than me. I'm just a lowly Irishman.
Get your ass in the carriage.
Listen. Just don't remember to not fall in love with me when you see it. And Darcie will get up.
And as you
the
say
carriage.
that, a horse is going to rush by, kicking up a plume of dust into the air. And as you say that and smile and turn, the dust is going to swell over your face, and you are going to let out a cataclysmic sneeze. And hanging into the inside of the carriage and looking inside, you are going to sneeze and suddenly be several inches shorter. And several inches larger as you look down at the bosom pressing against the front of your shirt as Darcie has popped back to her original body. Which is where we're going to be picking up game next time. Paradox don't give a shit. And that's gonna be our episode for today, folks, to allow Josephine to catch up. I hope you all had some fun with that.
Oh my God.
I don't know how we're talking ourselves out of this one, but
I don't know either. I do not know. It's
Not my job to make it easy on you, though, so there we go. Hey, folks, thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Did you guys have fun?
Mind magic him. Tommy left and Darcie joined. It's fine. It was great, Kelly.
Are you sure that's what you want it to be? Because I could certainly try a few things.
Oh, just hand jobs all around.
That's not what I was going for, but okay.
Oh, okay.
oh,
You never know. You never know. All right, folks, that's going to be it for us tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. A big thank you to everybody who came out here and watched, but an even bigger thank you to those who keep this channel on the air. That is our Patreon. Our patrons over at patreon.com/dorktales. You should join it right now if you're already not on it, because we are a mere 22 members away at any tier level from getting a Regency era D&D game where I get to play someone named Lord Tuscamus Orkington, right? And that's going to be ran by Christine right there. It's going to be fantastic. You should consider joining that. And once it's unlocked, it will happen even if we don't keep that number. So consider it. You can join the likes of such amazing people on our Patreon as my mom. Don't you want to hang out with my mom? She's super cool. She's our divine producer. We also have a demonic producer or two named Precarious and Mysterium MK. We also have our wizards of the Patreon who definitely didn't use their orbs to see this coming. Those are Tammy, the Ink Goblin, and Sorcerer Sanguine. Soul Omen's our monster maker, and I'm gonna blame her for the meat slug. And our High Council of the Patreon are watching from Concordia going, what the hell? And that is Taryn, Dustin, Aberthus, Raven with Baubles, Karasha, Urquhart, Chef Aladeth, Larouk, Mike Baxter, Kelowna Curd, Iridian, Brian Kaler, and Nerdy Metal Gent. You're all amazing. We'll see you in a couple of weeks for more Mage the Ascension now that we're finally in Egypt. And with that, good night, everybody.